The latest track and talk about the impacts that we could see here next week.
Our firefighters looked really excited to get back out there.
Search and rescue efforts back on in Surfside, while the part of the building that is still standing is becoming a major obstacle.
They're going through hell, and those who survived the collapse, as well as those who are missing loved ones.
President Biden spent nearly 3 hours with families impacted by this tragedy, how he plans to help out with the costs from the collapse.
You're watching CBS 12 News This Morning.
Time now 6:01. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Sam Kerrigan. Ashley has the morning off. And of course, we are keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Elsa. South Florida remains in the cone of uncertainty.
Elsa seems like right on her way to Orlando. Go figure on that one, right? We got team coverage this morning. Meteorologist Zach Covey standing by with a deeper look at the storm. But we start with meteorologist Lauren Oleski. Of course, 5 a.m. track in. What does it say here, Lauren?
That's right. So Disney World is in that cone, Matt. A look right now at Elsa. Winds at 60 miles per hour, so a little strengthening overnight. Great consensus right now that we're still going to see this track south of the Greater Antilles there, moving through the Caribbean through the end of the weekend. And then it's where it curves north that's going to determine the impacts that we see here locally. Part of southern Florida still in this cone. We're still going to end up with some rainfall, I think, early next week. I do just want to let you know the hurricane hunters are headed out right now. We don't have any data back yet because they're obviously not in the storm, but they're on their way, and we'll have that data back for you a little later this morning. Closer to home right now, we've got some storms off the coast. A west-southwest wind through the day today is going to keep our skies, I think, pretty dry for the morning. A better chance of storms will be moving in as we head into the afternoon today. Here's 7 o'clock this evening. Storms continuing to linger for us later on. This all pushes east towards the coastline. Mostly dry overnight. We'll probably repeat this again tomorrow. Isolated showers and storms developing for your Saturday, and then everything moves east towards the coastline later into the afternoon. A little bit of drier air is actually going to sneak in for us on Sunday. So dropping rain chances for your 4th of July holiday before more moisture moves back in because of Elsa. We're going to take a closer look at Elsa in my next update. Matt, Sam.
All right, Lauren, this morning, search and rescue teams are closely watching the path of Elsa that could bring in heavy rain and wind into Surfside at the beginning of next week.
And right now, those crews are back at the site after rescue efforts were paused for most of the day yesterday over concerns about the safety of the section of the building that's still standing.
And Miami-Dade police have identified another victim, this one with connections to Palm Beach County. This right here, 80-year-old Magali Elena Delgado. Her body was found 2 days ago. She had lived at the condo complex for more than 10 years. Her daughter, Magali Ramsey from Jupiter, says her mom moved from Cuba in the 1960s in search of a better life. Magali says her mom loved her grandchildren and enjoyed making the drive to Jupiter to see them.
You know, every now and then she would take the hike to Jupiter. Last time I said, stop it. Mother's Day, I said, stop it. We pick you up because that's crazy. But she was, I'm independent. I can do it. You know, that sort of woman. And living her best life, love to travel, love, go out.
And right now, 17 of the 18 victims found in the rubble have been identified. And these are just some right here of the people who have lost their lives in the tragic collapse. This morning, there are still 145 people missing.
And right now, search and rescue crews are back on site looking for those people who are still missing. CBS 12 News reporter Madeline Montgomery is in Surfside this morning with more details on why the search was called off. Maddie?
Search and rescue workers are out here working in Surfside this morning after having to pause for 15 hours because of the instability of the area. We're about 3 blocks from the building, and that's about as close as we can get. And that's because that building behind me is what they're thinking is a problem. And the big concern this morning, as rescue crews search for survivors, they're removing rubble and debris from the pile, making the part of the building that's still standing shift. That's a threat to the first responders who are working at the scene and also to those camped out nearby. They're set up in a tennis court right in front of the condo building. Yesterday, work was halted after engineers detected a large column in the portion of the building still standing moved several inches, but it was later determined the building itself had not moved, just the debris in the pile below the building.
And it's not just the building, it's also the rubble itself. When you remove a 25,000-pound piece of concrete, like, say, for example, a balcony, that creates a tremendous amount of holding in the pile, but when you move it, it's going to shift. because 25,000 pounds doesn't move. And when it does move, everything moves with it. So the amount of engineering that goes into making that removal safe is extraordinary.
There are now talks of demolition of the building that is still standing, and then the next half hour we'll take a closer look at the Miami-Dade County Mayor's plan for that demolition. For now, live in Surfside, Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
Well, thanks, Manny. This morning we are learning more about the debris that's already been removed from the condo collapse site. Take a look at this. It's a mountain of debris that just sits on the side of the Golden Glades interchange near Miami Gardens. The pile will be examined by experts as they look for any evidence that might help figure out what caused this tragedy. We also know there's another site, a warehouse at an unknown location.
6:06 is the time, and right now Surfside is on the minds of many across the nation. President Biden and the First Lady visited families and first responders. They both went to the Surfside Wall of Hope and Memorial for a moment of silence. For nearly 3 hours, the president met behind closed doors with the families of the victims and those still missing.
They know that the chances are, as each day goes by, diminish slightly. But at a minimum, they want to recover the bodies.
The president asked the National Institute of Standards and Technology to investigate the collapse. He's worried about the remaining building and whether it's safe for crews to work. The president said the federal government will cover the cost for the first 30 days of the search and rescue efforts.
This morning, we're hearing from a former deputy fire chief who responded on 9/11 to the terrorist attacks there. Richard Alley says he knows firsthand what it's like to do this very important and painstaking work and then do it for days on end. Alley also knows both the physical and emotional stress that the rescuers in Miami-Dade County are dealing with right now.
Because it's not like everybody can take a break and let's go home and get a good night's sleep and come back the next day. No, it continues, and continues. And it will be that way until every person that's alive has been found or everybody that has perished has been recovered.
Well, Miami-Dade County officials say rescue teams have been working nonstop. Some even have been hospitalized with exhaustion.
On Sunday, Miami Beach residents are being asked to shine a light to show unity. People can light up a candle, a phone, a flashlight, and stand outside for a moment of remembrance. The tribute will be at 9 p.m. We have a complete list of resources on how you can help families affected by the condo collapse right now on our website. Just head to cbs12.com or download our free CBS 12 News app.
Well, 6:08 now, the time, and still ahead on CBS 12 News. The Delta variant striking home and killing 4 in our state, where some of the victims traveled, and the latest group in Palm Beach County that is now becoming a target.
Plus, Britney Spears' conservatorship gaining more attention. The Florida lawmaker who wants the star to testify before Congress.
Let's take a live look inside Palm Beach International Airport as the holiday weekend is getting underway. Airport's seeing a surge of people coming in. If you're going out of town, double check your flight status. Make sure you get to the airport early. You're watching CBS 12 News this morning. The one to turn to.